All right. So now I'm going to go for the first walk. Oh, I got me a Joe staff for practice. It's about 4 feet long. I like the bow, which is 6 feet long. Now I heard some of them can be up to 2 more inches, but that's fine. Got some mail yesterday. I'll get it when I go in. I kind of took a break from everything yesterday because I had to take uh, Sarah around on Monday and then a friend on Tuesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, or Tuesday, I'm sorry. And then my mom needed to get some work done on the vehicle. So I drove her and Bugatti to Spain back, and we eat. But that, in general, that's something wrong, right? He's very like, you're wrong. You don't tell us. No. We gotta take that suspicious. We know you know about the Asian people. What do you mean? You're some kind of boycott. There has to be a reason to the banning. Like you said, you do wrong. Maybe argue about something. But what did you argue about? Oh, you being towards him? Like we don't know Asian people are racist too? What did you argue about? You can't tell us about that either. Very good. One visible. Street calls. It's up, no. It's probably. While bringing up the subject. Me and one woman, if it didn't have nothing to do with him, right? Most people back then were arranged, but most people were married, right? Now, the one apostle they're not sure of is Paul. But some people wonder about that because he talks about leading about a wife or a sister, right? To 1 Corinthians chapter 9. But we do know about Aquila and Priscilla, which Priscilla is the feminine, and Aquila is the man. And then there was one woman who was possibly an apostle, mentioned by Paul in Romans, chapter 16, I think. Now, didn't Jesus send Mary to the 12 to announce his resurrection to them? Right. Now, what does that mean? She's the apostle to the apostles, like the woman at the well was the apostle to the Samaritans. Well, she testified he told her all she did. That she had 5 husbands and was living with the dude. Which we would excommunicate her today from the church, wouldn't we? Regret. Like Jesus said, you know not what you do. You're so carnal. You know. Good morning. Something here. And he's a beauty baby, but you can sense it. You don't even know that. Alright. And she didn't seem right. She seemed like she liked him a lot, right? At first, right? He's right. Well, he probably did both. He was the guy. I didn't think he was a girl. Did you think he was a girl? I'm trying to hook up with a girl. I think it's the rules of the Bible too. Paul says something about even their women did leave the natural use of the meat. Of the meat. And we're not really supposed to do that when Christ reveals our sins. Even homosexuality, sexual. Even transgender. Jesus forgives all, right? Even if you don't repent. But it's better if you repent before you die. I mean, that's kind of the way too now. We're under grace. The law don't give you grace, right? But they are the rules we're supposed to all play by, right? And Moses did allow for premarital sex. Christians, you're lying about that. The Torah, the law, has no Moses, not Jesus. But you can't totally eliminate it either, then make your own rules. Jesus told you that too. That's what you're trying to do. That's hypocrisy too, right? If you want people to follow the rules, you gotta follow them all. Now, the only thing you do if you have premarital sex is you ask the father's hand in marriage back then, or the woman herself, and get engaged, and then get married within a time period after, right? Aren't you doing that anyway? So you're following the spirit of the law, some of you, but don't know it's not wrong. Because the Christians are making you think it's wrong when it's not wrong, right? To do that either. Either way, you're supposed to get married, and sex is the result of your marriage, right? Before or after, right? You have the sex. The sex is just why you're possibly could get pregnant, right? The female, right? And the male impregnates her, right? Whole point. And there's not two laws. Moses deals with both premarital sex and late for marriage sex, right? He deals with it both ways, right? He also talks of rape, what to do in that situation, if the girl's betrothed, right? It's kind of weird if she's not, right? He almost makes her kind of force marriage right there, right? To the man who seduced her, right? Or whatever, right? Or if he raped her, right? But even then, right, you know, unhappy wife, unhappy life. And you're full of strife, right? Right. Now, that's what it means too, I know. And see, God don't know how to lie. We do. We learned it from Satan. Now you might say, well, how can God say tree of life and tree of knowledge of good and evil, but not give a name of their fruit? See, an apple tree, or a pine tree, or an oak tree, or a cedar in Lebanon, those are trees, right? And they're a specific type of tree, right? The tree of the knowledge of good and evil are not called a specific type of fruit, as in that, right? A fig tree is mentioned in the story. And do you know what a fig tree looks like in its fruit? Kind of odd. Now, maybe, I don't know, just maybe, since it's tied into the story, Eve did eat of its fruit, like it was, or could be the tree she wasn't supposed to eat of. But also, something was talking to her with the vocal cords. Does a serpent have vocal cords? No. No! Has it ever had vocal cords? Don't appear to. No, right. None of the animals seem to speak in a language that's like human language, right? At all. Now, was the serpent maybe close to the tree and led Eve to the tree, and that's why it was cursed too? I don't know. Right? Or was it something else? A human male has what's called a snake. The female is the den, if you will, that the snake goes into to hole and nest and rest. Right? That's a metaphor. That's a metaphor. The snake goes into the den. That's a metaphor for human reproduction. Just like a tree has a way to reproduce too. They have what's called some kind of flowering system where the pollen, which is the male part, goes from one flower to another, right? The flower then becomes some kind of way, right? Some kind of fruit, some kind of pine cone even. And the tree reproduces when the pine cone is buried in the ground or something and produces another pine tree, right? Kind of similarly, when we have sex, the fluid comes out of the male into the female, and she has what's called an egg. The egg becomes fertilized, like with a chicken, but its egg is round and comes out of the chicken. But except here, the woman gives birth 9 months later to a baby. And again, a chick is born several months later too, I guess. And there you have a chicken and a human being, right? But which came first, the chicken or the egg, right? Philosophical question there, right? Well, you need 2 chickens, right? A male and a female, right, to reproduce a chicken, right? Well, if Adam was 1 and they were all 2, right, were they 1 too, right? And then made 2, right? As an adult chicken. All right. For we are all 1 in Christ Jesus, right? Not 2. 1. 2 from 1, maybe, right? 2 in 1, maybe. When you are sharing the same body, right? You're both a part of it somehow, right? 50-50, 50-50. Some people don't get that, right? That's called sharing something, right? All right. Exactly. Well, maybe next year, right? Once I pay off the end of the year bills, right, including the HOA fee of the yearly fee, they're not getting nothing else. Why? They're billing you falsely. They're billing me falsely. I keep telling them that I'm disabled. You can't hold me to the same standard as a non-disabled person. Even if I can do a little bit around the house, I can keep it spotless, right? By myself, right? And guess what? I'm by myself, right? And like I told you, you don't know how I feel, right? I don't show negativity. Why? No, you don't show an enemy any sign of weakness, right? You're not acting like a friend, right? But then you don't let someone go out 3 times and then ban them mysteriously, right? Without telling people why. Sure, you have the right to refuse service to a certain degree, but the person also has to do something wrong, right? And you gotta tell them what I did wrong. They don't know. I don't know, actually, that I did anything wrong. I normally don't. But you don't ban me with a 15-year-old who can't even work in the store until she's 16, right? You can't even really legally train her until she's 16. And she's also supposed to have a GED, right? Yes, she is. Yes, she is. And, right, be certified according to the Georgia Board of Certifications for jobs, right? If you a slave driver or you a child abuser, and that's what it's considered if you make the child work underage, right? It's child abuse, right? Oh. Right. Who caught your providence?
Then you have another one on August 1st on Corinth Street.
No. I got this on June 30.
This is the one on Corinth Street. I have this. This is on June 30th. You have a second one on July 21st on Durant Street.
No, I never received ticket from them.
Well, who else drives the car besides you?
I'm the only person that drives the car.
You're the only person that drives it?
Yeah.
Do you remember being on Durant Street?
No.
Do you know what Durant Street is?
Downtown probably?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Do you know where the courthouse is?
Yeah.
Family Court?
Mm-hmm.
Were you in that court? Were you in that building? Were you
I went to the child support area.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it
How do
was...
I know this stuff? How do I know that? I don't know how I figured this out.
No, but I only went to go pick up... I only went to go pick up phone and someone was in the car.
Yeah. And you got a ticket?
No, they never issued me ticket.
Oh.
I never received ticket.
Somebody probably stole it.
They think they can lie to the judge on the stand, right? But you don't know.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something. Get back over there. Give me that suddenness. Give me that suddenness. Here's what I'm going to tell you, okay? You got a bad attitude. Don't give me an attitude.
Oh my
But the last thing in the world I need is an attitude, okay?
If I get
First of all,
I'm sorry.
listen to me. First of all, I helped you out, okay? You had 2 $30 tickets, and they doubled. Actually, one trip was, it was $150. That's how much the tickets were, $150. The original tickets were $30 each, right? I reduced them to $20 each and charged you $40 instead of $150. And then you give me an attitude on the way out by raising your eyebrows and giving me a dirty look.
No, I'm sorry.
I know you're sorry now, but I brought it up, but I just like, in the future, change your attitude, okay?
All right, I'm sorry, but the reason why I raised my eyebrow, not raise my eyebrow, only because right now I'm sick leave, I'm not working right now. So that's why I raised my eyebrow. Where I'm going to get it $40 to pay that.
Well, here's what you're going to do. We're going to put you on a payment plan.
Okay.
So you can pay as little as you can afford for as long as you have to. All right, does that make sense? Okay, good luck.
There you go.
Anytime you open your mouth, you-
See, the thing is, if I go into your store and I'm not doing nothing wrong, you can't just automatically ban me either, right? Right. That I know of either, right? Not only if I'm arguing with someone about something, right? And that depends on what it is, right? and we have a disagreement, that depends on what the disagreement is about. See. I don't just have sex with random people, but I have had sex with random people before, right? So all I can think of is if you ban me from the store and I lose an hour of time where I'm not sure exactly what happened in your store, right? Versus other stores I've been at with the same service, right? There's something wrong with your store. There's something wrong in your store specifically, right? Something happened that wasn't supposed to happen. But, what? What? See, you can have the right to refuse service, but that's only if the person is acting belligerent, right? You have to have a reason, right? You can't just say, oh, well, I don't want you coming out to my store anymore for no reason. No. Just because you don't like someone. That's a civil suit for your store right then, right? The person can sue you because there's no reason in general, right? Even with Christians and gay people, to refuse someone baking a cake, for example, right? Yeah, you got the right to refuse it, Christians, but no, you don't. Jesus didn't tell you to refuse it. Satan knows. Right. He's getting you in trouble, right? Jesus didn't say condemn the sinner, did he? Ever. You're trying to condemn them. No. Even Billy Graham is wrong to condemn them, right? Sorry, Franklin. Billy's wrong. No. It's not just morality alone. It's forgiveness of sins that saves people in the end, right? Not condemnation, right? Not judging them and putting them down because they're gay, right? Now, if you're on a ship and the men are trying to quid pro quo you, right? And they keep asking you if you're gay, what are they trying to do? Have sex with you because you might be a virgin. That too, right? I keep telling them no, though. I know I did. Now, they're not training me as a result, which is why it's quid pro quo, right? See, they're trying to get something from me to do their job, right? Which is automatic, right? You're supposed to train me, right? If you don't train me, I've never been on a ship before. I don't know what the equipment even looks like, right? If you only give me the work card, you're giving me half of what I need to do the job then, right? If there's a bunch of books on the shelf, I don't know they go hand in hand yet, right? Either, right? I don't know the system on the ship. They don't teach you that in any school. You're supposed to teach you that when I get to the ship, right? No. That's any Navy man, right? Who's an electrician. Or any, rating you have. Or, that's what they call it. It's a rating because it's a job specifically for someone to do. Like my son is a radar tech, right? That's a job. He could even go into air traffic control afterwards, right? Or get a job at an airport, right? But I know you're not my son, right? You're harassing me every day about this, and I don't fully remember why I lost the hour of time, but I know I did. I know. I told you how I need before, right? I'm going to the movies after the nail job, right? I get to the nail place enough to do the nails and go to the movie, right? I'm there at least 50 minutes before the movie, right? And the nail job shouldn't take more than 25 to 30 minutes, right? To 40 minutes, right? At the longest, because I'd done it before, right? Now, I don't target 15-year-olds, but they can't work in the store either, right? See, that's called a catch-22. She does, right? She's doing something wrong, and her wrong can't lead to more wrong, and you ban me from the store for the wrong I'm doing when you're doing something wrong too, right? See, you do have the right to ban someone from your store, but that's only if they're doing something wrong too, right? That depends, right? It's not automatic either, right? Why do you have the right to refuse service to someone in the first place, right? Then you would have refused it the first time I went into the store. See. You didn't do it the first time or the second time, but the third time I went in to just use the bathroom and left my can of soup in the bathroom, which I bought from Walmart's and had a receipt for, which is why I went and bought the ticket. And then before I got into the store, the police show up, right? And I told them what I was doing. See, I can explain what I'm doing, right? And why I did it, right? And if my story beats your story, you're the one who looks crazy, right? Yeah, not me, not you. You're not doing nothing wrong. I'm not doing nothing wrong that I know of, right? And I ain't trying to seduce you, but I am looking for a woman friend who's old enough to be with me. And if you tell me you're 37, why would I doubt you, right? I have no reason to. I never been in that store before. I don't know you're 37, 15, or anything about you, right? Once I go to the store. And you let me do my nails 2 times, right? Once with the girl and then once with the dude, right? And the dude had a woman there but wouldn't let her do my nails, right? Like that has anything to do with anything, right? Who's acting weird then? The dude. And see, dude, if you're the one who's talking here, right, you're doing something wrong, right? You're being racist, you're being prejudiced, right? And I can sue you under legal grounds, right? In the civil trial. I just ain't worried about it, right? There's too many nail salons to worry about one nail salon. Unless you're controlling more than one. Or talking to the other agent owners and telling them I'm a threat when I'm not, right? See, that's again slander, right? That's another civil trial, right? I didn't know the girl was 15, but I have had women to approach me for sex before, even working in the store, right? And I had sex with one in her store after she got off work. Now, normally I don't just have sex in the bathroom, right? But that is the only place in a store like that we could do something, right? In private, right? You don't go to an office to do it, right? There usually isn't one in most salons, right? Unless they're a big one, like at the mall, right? The one in Rankin kind of has a little back room office, right? But not all of them do, right? Depends on the size, too, right? Yeah, and see, this one was in a strip mall, right? Those are usually small time, right? And I saw what was in the back, right? Pair of washing machines, right? And dryer, right? Which they come in pairs, right? There was a rack of towels, right? On the side I was on, which was the right side of the customer coming in, right? And it was the last chair she put me in, right? And we were close to the bathroom, right? And I knew that the whole time, right? So lie about it all you want, right? You're looking on that, right? You're a nail salon, that's your job, right? Now, if the woman seduced me, right? Which I'm not trying to get her in trouble with you, she didn't, right? That's another reason you don't mention it, right? And I didn't say you didn't show up after, right? We did something in the bathroom, right? I know. But one of the things I was worried about it, and this is because she was a college graduate working in a nail salon, right? Which is part of the story she told me. She even told me she was from New Jersey, and I don't know she's not, right? I don't know nothing about her, right? No, you don't. I don't know her age. She doesn't come with a stamp, right? That I can guess her age, right? Nope. She's got to tell me her age. And I asked her age, and she said 37, right? She talked about being from New Jersey, that she was a college graduate. And that's why I kind of thought the women were messing with her about me being my size, right? and that I was maybe even sexually respond to her, right? Because she looked like a girl I dreamed of when I was a kid, right? 16 myself, right? Well, actually 17, but you know what I mean, right? Around 16, 17, right? After I met a redhead named Lisa Baker, right? And started a relationship with her, I dreamed of an Asian looking woman or Native American looking woman, right? Somewhere in that vicinity, right? Because she said she had a Native American cousin, right? Who she wanted me to meet for some reason, right? And when I met her, she didn't fit the typical Asian look, right? Or Native American look, right? But I did dream about meeting a girl, right? Who looked Asian, like typical Asian, but was a little more Native American looking than that. Her skin was kind of brownish in tone, right? You know, not dark brown, not light brown, but, you know, maybe like even a Vietnamese girl. Though some are lighter skin, some are darker skin, too, right? But anyone can tan, right? Even Asian people, right? Black people, because of Africa's climate, already been tanned, right? Their skin went dark a long time ago. And when your dominant gene is dark, right, it's dominant over light. But when you reproduce with each other, your children kind of look in the middle. More Asiatic looking too, right? Like I said, right? Now, I ain't seen Amanda since she was 4. For another example, right? But I don't go after children, right? If Daphne's child was to wake me up in the middle of the night, which is the only way it could happen, right? All I know I would do is something similar to my sister who I was involved with growing up, right? Mom had her in the 80s, the early 80s. Let's just say somewhere before 83, right? And I was getting into my teenage years, right? I was born in 69, right? Right. So, when my mom had my sister in the very early 80s, right, I was involved with raising her, right? See, you can't just throw me under the bus, right, for no reason, no. You can't ban me for no reason, right? Now, the only way, right, you can refuse service is if I'm doing something wrong, right? The first time I go into your store, right? See, if I do something against the law, that's usually what that means. You have the right to refuse me service, right? If I do something against the law, right? Now, if I go in without a shirt and I show my butt, right? That's illegal for the business, right? But it's not illegal from my home. From my home, you can't tell me what to wear. If I want to go around shirtless as a dude, you can. I can't. I could even go outside shirtless as a dude, right? And you can't do nothing about it. It's not illegal for a male to walk around in subdivision without a shirt on, right? Never has been, right? You can't make it illegal, right? And the rules are the rules for everyone, or they don't fit, right? Now, the only type of basketball goal I ever had was the stand-up kind, right? That's legally allowed in the subdivision, right? Someone lied that I had the wrong kind of basketball goal, right? And tried to charge me falsely, and you can't do that, right? No HOA can, right? I never had that kind of basketball goal. And what that is there's the type you can put on your garage and have to screw it in at the top, right, of the garage. You can't have that kind, right? And my stepdad had that kind, but he put it on a pine tree so he could play basketball, right? A about 10 feet up, right? Right. Hmm. But I'd never had that kind, right? At this house, right? The only kind I had was the stand-up kind, right? Which has, the whole thing, right? Right. And then they tried to get me in trouble and tried to charge me for it when they couldn't. And I did nothing wrong, right? And I don't have to pay you, and all you can do is add it onto my mortgage payment or something, right? If I don't pay it, right? And that depends on the mortgage company, right? Too. Mm-hmm. If they ask me about it, I can explain. See, that's your problem, HOA. You're not gods. You're not nothing but something we pay every year to keep up the place, right? The whole subdivision, right? We all gotta pay once a year, right? And that's what it's for. To keep up the subdivision. Yeah, that means you gotta put sidewalks in, you gotta put the pool in, right? And you gotta keep it up every year, and everybody has the right to go, right? Now, the reason I need a pool is I need one all year. Your pool's only open during the summer, right? But, right. That's why I can really only get a kiddie pool anyway. I can only put it in my backyard, right? I can't get an above ground pool. I can only get an above ground pool. And all of those are under a certain footage anyway, right? They're considered all kiddie pools, right? Basically. And I still got my spa, but that's not quite what I wanted anyway, but I'm stuck with it now. Paying it off, right? And even with traffic court, right? See, I know I stopped behind the stop sign, but I could still see, right? But the officer couldn't see I was stopped if I took off from where I took off, right? The reason being, right, is I was a car length behind it, not thinking and in a hurry to get home, right? It still don't mean I didn't stop, right? You just didn't give me the benefit of the doubt. Because in a traffic court, I'm guilty until presumed innocent, proven innocent, right? Is that how you're doing it now? Mm-hmm. That's wrong too, right? See, if I can explain why I stopped where I stopped, I still stopped even if it's 8 feet behind the stop sign, right? The difference is, right, there was a car coming, but it was 1,000 feet away. That's 3 football fields, right? If I went from there, right, and I was behind the tree line, right, and you charged me illegally, I fully stopped like I'm supposed to stop, right? Still, behind the stop sign, right? Even if it's a car length behind it, right? Where I could still see, but the officer couldn't see, I was stopped, right? It's what's called a technical foul, right? Right. It still don't mean I thought I did anything wrong either. Then you tried to throw the book at me, right? That's wrong too. I know that's wrong too. And then they try to screw me with Kia by not letting me show the judge my ankle, right? Which is part of the suit. They can't do that either, right? I had a valid case. They put someone with a bad ankle in a stick, which might cause the ankle problems if I keep driving with it, yes. And I never drove a 6-speed, right? Before, only a 5-speed, right? See, that's a legitimate claim, right? I know it is. It's a civil suit for a reason. I'm disabled. Do they have the right? Even if it would have cost me more and I couldn't have gotten a car there, right? To sell me a car I might not can safely drive, and I tried to probably bring it up, right? When I realized they were putting me in the stick, right? See, that's all I gotta do legally to file a civil suit against the people who sold me the car. It's not Kia, unless something's wrong with the brakes, so that's a different suit, right? But I should have gotten some kind of compensation for that, right? Two. And I could sue the owner of the nail salon if I wanted to, right? Though you have the right to refuse service, you gotta give me a valid reason and you're not, right? Besides you working an underage girl, right? That's on you, right? You're not supposed to work her like you Asians run a sweatshop, right? And put children in the sweatshop. You can't do that, right? No one can anymore. Even if you're in an Asian country where it's allowed, right? That's considered illegal in America to even sell those kind of products, right? I know. I know, right? And it's considered wrong. Mm-hmm. And like I said, all I'm doing is trying to lose some weight, right? Get under 300 pounds at least slowly, right? Maybe by the end of next year, not this year, right? Maybe I can get under 300 pounds, right? But it's a process, right? Good eating habits, bad eating habits. I don't judge my eating habits anymore. Why? Mm-hmm. Everyone else does, right? See, judgment is your problem. When you tell me what I'm eating is killing me because it's killing everybody else, well, that's not just a coincidence, right? You're judging the person to death, right? Don't you realize that the power of life and death is in the tongue? Right. So if that's true and you're a doctor, right, and people are dying around the same age like John Kennedy or, right, just recently, right, Louis, I don't remember the rest of the words. But anyway, Louis Anderson passed away, right? I guess, right? From overweight, right? See, I'm making it more muscle than fat, right? Ain't saying there ain't no fat, but still. When there's more muscle than fat, you look different too, right? Now I got a little belly because, that's where the fat settles, right? Normally too, right? But I also got a chest even with the belly, right? And really I'm losing some weight every day, right? It toggles a little sometimes, especially when I eat out, but I ain't worried about that, right? And see, you're panicking everybody with the pandemic, right? But we have one that frequently throughout the years, right? But now it can be human-made, right? Viruses, right? Or alien viruses, right? I don't know. How do you know that all viruses aren't alien, right? From the devil. And our sins with him, right? The worst sin you can commit, though, is judging for doing the same thing wrong, right? See, I wouldn't know about pedophilia if someone wasn't called a pedophile first, right? And I'm not a pedophile. Don't mean I don't love children the right way, right? Either. See, you're using the word, and actually it's pedia, right, which is a child, right? And phile means love. But it's more like brotherly love or sisterly love too, right? So you're combining the Greek words pedo, which means foot, right? By the way, and phile, which means kind of like brotherly love or sisterly love, and then you're putting a sexual connotation on it, right? Right. It's not sexual, right? Love, right? It's still more brotherly or sisterly love, right? Carnia or carnal, right? Love, right? It's sexual love, right? Now, the writers of the Bible didn't use that word, but they did talk of through Jesus becoming one flesh. That's carnia love, right? He described it for you, just like Moses talks about masturbation, right? You're alone in your home, right? And your seed spills out of your body and you're a male, right? And you're doing it sometime before evening, right? Now, after you do it, and it comes out, just wash anything it gets on. Your skin, your garment, or your artifacts in your home. If it gets on those too. Some can, right? Okay, and you're just unclean until the evening. Same if you have sex with a woman, right? 1 year by yourself, though. It's kind of very descriptive, ain't it? Right. You know it don't come out any other way unless you're having a wet dream at night. And he don't say it's not before evening if he says you're unclean to evening, right? Clearly, unless you do it in the morning, right? And gotta wait until evening still. You can do it in the morning, the afternoon, or the evening, right? During the day. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. Ain't it? As long as it's before evening. Now, what if you do it at night? Are you unclean the rest until morning? Probably. Just watch. Is that adding to the law of Moses? No. Why isn't it, right? Even if you're with the woman, which is the second way you gotta wash and be unclean till evening. You're actually having sex with someone, not releasing it by yourself. I know. What do you think that sounds like to you, right? If I say you could spill your seed before eating, right? And anything it gets on, just wash it, right? Okay. And it's unclean till evening, and you are too, right? And that's all you got to do about it, right? Is that a big deal? No. Right? No. But others come in, right? Self-righteous people, right? And say, you can't do it at all, right? They're against the Torah, right? Why would the Torah allow for it? Moses is acknowledging it, but not you. And that's another problem Jesus had with the scribes and Pharisees of his day, right? It's like with honoring your father and mother, right? People quit doing that kind of, right? See, you're supposed to take care of your parents, not put them in a nursing home technically either, which is what they started doing around the time of Jesus, right? Now, Jesus ain't saying it's a sin unto death or stone everybody for it. Like they were trying to do the disciples, or just picking a few ears of corn, right? While they were hungry on the Sabbath day, right? But yet they were walking through the field. Walking, Jews, is an exercise, right? Are you so cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs you don't know that, right? What you gonna do, sleep in bed for 24 hours, right? Or do you get out of bed? That's an exercise. That's a work, right? Staying in bed, right? If you're following the Torah, is all you can do on the Sabbath day, right? If you take it that serious, right? Now, why does he mention an Egyptian picking up a few sticks on the Sabbath day and whether they should stone him or not? Tyranny! Tyranny is taking the law too far and having no mercy in it. Picking up a few sticks on the Sabbath day is not a crime where you even need to report him. Right. That was not. You should know what Moses means by the story being in the Torah, right? Tyranny is taking the law too far, where you're punishing someone for every little mistake. And trust me, if you're not keeping the whole law, like Paul said, you're violating it all, right? Too, right? If you can't offer sacrifices because you don't have a temple or a tabernacle anymore, and part of the system in Moses' law was the sacrificial system, right? You're not even doing that anymore, right? Legally. And really, you can't cause a PETA, right? They ain't gonna let you cut up and burn an animal to a crisp every day. They can't. That's not the way they see animals, right? So you're gonna have a lot of problems if you want to set up a temple anyway and go back to the sacrificial system in the first place, right? That's what we're telling you. You can do it, right? But you're going to have opposition, right? You know what I mean, right? And you ain't done it for 2,000 years, right? Have you lived more than any other man or less than any other man? No. Are you any better for following the law or worse? No. So it ain't the law saving you at all. You don't even know why we're dying anymore, right? Because you're misinterpreting Eden still. You don't know what to do to live longer again. Though doctors are trying to figure out something to help us live a little bit longer, a few years longer, but no one has really lived past 120, right? Not even this decade, or this last century, right? Or the one previous. We just started this century, so this is included, kind of, right? But between the 50s to 2000 is when medical science really took off, right? And I don't have a problem with some of it, but you're still judging your patients based on a numbering system, right? Now, for instance, my blood sugar is 133, right? But is that high if you eat sweets? Not really. But the ideal is below 100 and something, 107 or somewhere in there. Right? Or 99, somewhere in there, right? But if I eat sweets, right, and it's only a little high, does that make sense? Yeah. Is that irrational? No. It's very rational, in fact, right? Exactly, right. Now, if I don't eat sweets and it's high, that could be a problem. Right? Yeah. But if I do, I got some cookies in here. And I got some cakes, right? So you see I eat sweets. I got your standard junk food, I guess, right? If you want to call it that. It's food. Food. Got the baked goods and the bad stuff. But you're judging your food you're eating, right? You're saying it's good or bad to eat it to everybody, right? Oh, don't eat this kind of food. It's going to kill you one day. Well, I'm dying anyway, so why do you think it's that particular type of food? Are you telling me it's going to kill me? Is that what's really killing me? The power of life and death is in the tongue, the Bible says, right? Why is that? I'm dying because you're telling me this shit is killing me. But it's just food. I don't know. Processed food, maybe. Has some ingredients in it. But who's telling me it's going to kill me? The doctor. Who thinks he's what's the word? Savant about the human body, right? Knows everything about it. No, you're a creature like me, right? And see, if you condemn me for eating it, You're dying from eating healthy food, right? You're not prolonging anything if you're going to die too, right? Yeah. So it ain't simply, right, what you eat or don't eat either, right? It's killing us, right? It's something else. We all think we have to die now. Except for Jesus. Even the disciples, if they were hypothetically still alive, right, wouldn't admit it. They would lie about it. Why? They would play Highlander or something. I know. They don't really believe in the resurrection, right? Not even after Jesus resurrected, right? But they know he resurrected. You see what I mean? Right? There's a difference between knowing someone resurrected and really believing in the resurrection, right? Because it could also apply to your resurrection, right? If you're resurrected, right? Simply for being around Jesus, he said, right? He said it himself. Some of you shall not taste of death till all fulfilled, right? He ain't talking to me, I know. Or is he now, right? How do I know he said that, right? I read it. It's in the Bible, right? There are a lot of things in the Bible you're not reading or comprehending what it's saying. And for some reason, Satan put up a roadblock in your mind. And Jesus does that too, right? Just like he said to those who crucified him, you know not what you're doing, right? You don't know why, right, the Gnostics said what they said about it. Right? I do, though. I read it, right? You're prejudiced. Now, who in Eden, I know, would want you to think it's good to eat a tree of the knowledge of good and evil? Satan, right? Well, the Gnostics are saying it was good. Whose mindset do you think they're explaining there? The devil's? Is that wrong to know what the devil's thinking about you, right? No. In fact, that helps you fight him off, idiot. If you know he's trying to trick you in the first place, right? And that's what they're talking about. The knowledge of good and evil was wise, right? It's sarcasm then, right? Because even Satan wants you to follow him, right? And then Jesus wants you to follow God and him, right? Who's first, though, with Jesus? God. He wants you to learn about the Father and Mother in heaven, right? You don't even know there's two in heaven and two on the earth, right? And we're all a combination of it all, heaven and earth, heaven and earth.